Every real estate investor or aspiring real estate investor should be wondering how to develop a real estate mindset. Because it doesn't matter how much real estate you want or want to acquire at some point, without the proper mindset, you're always going to struggle. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 tips of how to develop a real estate mindset that will give you the edge to make sure you can accomplish your real estate goals. Let's get it. The first thing you want to know with developing a real estate mindset is money is first for investing. This is one of the things I help people see all the time is that money is for investing. You pay off your bills and you invest the rest. What that does is it produces a level of freedom. When you're in real estate, everything is for investing. I have a buddy of mine, we play golf all the time. And he often talks about how he wants to get into real estate. He would really love someday to invest in real estate. But he never has the money to invest in real estate because his money goes to really nice cars and really nice houses. That's great. I'm not opposed to having any of that unless it takes place of investing in real estate. A real estate mindset says every dollar that comes into my account after my bills goes towards investing in real estate that produces cash flow every month so that I can live a life of freedom. A real estate mindset sees money as soldiers. They go out, they not only multiply, but they literally bring back more. They fight, they continue to take up wealth territory. We want to continue to deploy our money to go and get more instead of just paying off bills and buying TVs and buying cars. Instead, money is for investing. I would encourage you, drive a substandard car for years so you can invest more in real estate. That's what I did. When I built my very first duplex at age 20, my wife and I lived in half and rented the other half out. And that gave us a chance to not have a mortgage payment. We were able to invest in more real estate. And then right down the road, we built a little spec home because we didn't have a mortgage. We could take on another loan and make that payment every month. And we ended up selling that for a very good chunk of money because money is first for investing. It's not to use. We don't use money. We strategically place money. And that's different. And this is one of the things I want you to see. Developing a real estate mindset for me comes down to every dollar that comes in has an investment name. Where's it going to go to deploy itself and multiply itself? Real estate is about multiplying money, and money is for that exact purpose. I was reading a book a few years ago called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Every single person should read that book. It's a fantastic resource. But I was reading that book. He mentioned in his book, you should be putting 10% of your income into what he called a wealth account. 10% of your income goes into an account and you only use that money for investing. You don't use it for anything else. Well, when I read that book, I remember I was on a plane. I remember where I was on the plane. It was that vivid in my memory. And I turned to Leanne. Leanne's my wife. She was sitting next to me. And I'm like, hon, we need to do this. And she had read the book before me. And she goes, I totally agree. I didn't know if you'd be interested in doing it or not, taking 10% of our money away. For Leanne and I, it's really important in our relationship with church. So we love to give money to our church and we love to give money to our wealth account. So what we did was we give money to our church. And then what we do is we set up an account where 10% of our gross income goes straight to a wealth account and we do nothing but invest from that account. It doesn't go to pay taxes. It doesn't go to pay employees. It doesn't go to pay for cars. It goes only towards cash producing investments or investing in businesses. It's an investment account. That's why we call it our wealth account. When we actually set the account up with the bank, that's what we titled it, the wealth account. Because number one, who would have a wealth account? Wealthy people. That's a mindset. Who puts money into a wealth account? People building wealth. That's a mindset. What kind of people actually have wealth? People that have accounts that are for that very purpose. And so when I read this book, and this is Harv teaching through this book, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. I want to start doing this. Now, guess what? That means I just took a 10% pay cut to take a lifetime of wealth building. So what that means is I just took a 10% pay cut to increase my wealth. Every month I didn't have that extra 10% of money to go out to eat or to hang out with friends or to go play golf or to go do what I had to do because it's in a wealth account. And that was 7 years ago. And today we still use that principle of 10% of every real estate deal I do goes straight into the wealth account. 10% goes straight into the wealth account. When my wife goes and she sees clients, 10% goes into the wealth account because that's the way we want to set up our lives. I would encourage every single person to have a wealth account. That's a real estate mindset. That's a mindset that'll get you a lot of real estate and it'll build generational, life-impacting wealth. The second tip I want to share with you about developing a real estate mindset is understand you don't have to have money to invest in real estate. The money doesn't have to be your own. There's 3 things you can do to get money that doesn't come from your pocket. Number 1, you can raise private capital. Private capital is an amazing process of partnering with investors that put money into your deals and you go find the deals. They put up the money, you do the work and put the structure together, put the management team in place, and you can make money on their money. So you can raise private money. You can also get bank money. So you can get private investor to put up money for the down payment, so they have to put up less money. You can get the bank to loan you the rest, and now you have a piece of real estate in which you have no money in the deal, right? So you can start getting real estate even if you don't have money. So a big piece to building a real estate mindset is the money can be done with what we call OPM, other people's money. You can build a real estate portfolio without any of your own money. And the third thing you can do is look for deals that have seller financing. Seller financing is where the seller acts as the bank and you simply make monthly payments to them instead of paying a bank. When sellers are willing to sell seller financing, you don't have to go get a loan and you also can negotiate the down payment. So you might be able to bring less money to the table. Oh, by the way, you can also raise private money for whatever down payment you need, have a seller financing deal, and you don't even need a bank. Another way to get real estate that's not your own money. Here's the power of this. You might be looking at your bank account and seeing it empty. I want to develop a real estate mindset, invest in real estate, but I don't have any money. You don't need it. The last 10 deals I've done, I haven't used $1 of my own, none of my own money. And you can do that same thing, right? You just have to follow the principles of either private money, bank money, or seller financing. And there's a million different people out there that would invest in deals if they knew you were doing deals. That's a real estate mindset. I don't look at a deal and then look at my bank account and say, I'm not doing that deal until I have that money in there. Don't have to have that. You can leverage other people's money. If you want more information about raising private capital, make sure you watch our video on exactly how to raise private capital, where I walk you through how to find investors, how to talk to investors, how investors work, how do you structure deals. You need to understand to do that if you're gonna take other people's money, because before people give you their money to invest in real estate, they wanna know what you're doing. Well, if you watch this video, you can go into those conversations like a pro. And the third tip is cash flow. You wanna develop a real estate mindset, we have to start seeing cash flow as freedom. We want to start investing in things that gives us monthly cash flow. That's why I love buy and hold real estate, not transactional real estate. Transactional real estate is fixing and flipping. I buy a house, I fix it up, I sell it. I'm not a fan of that process because that's just a high-paid job. What I want to do is find a property I can invest in and have it pay me month after month after month without me doing any work. And then I can buy a bunch of those and that creates a salary. I can totally replace my income, and that's how I can run into retirement. I can step into retirement with properties that are paying me every single month. And then we don't have to retire on a quote-unquote fixed income because we can just buy more cash producing real estate with the real estate we have. That's the power of cash flow. So when you're in real estate, fixing and flipping and wholesaling and some of these processes that are transactional, meaning you don't get paid unless a transaction happens, I'm not a big fan of those. Can you make money in those? Absolutely. I'm a bigger fan of buy and hold real estate that pays me month after month after month. Multifamily real estate, my favorite. Storage units, mobile home parks, even single family homes that are rental property. These are buy and hold real estate that money comes in every single month. The fourth tip to build a really successful real estate mindset is to buy appreciating assets. Buy assets that appreciate by nature. One of the reasons that I like to invest in real estate is that it has a long history of appreciation. And this is why I like commercial real estate, because in commercial real estate, we can force appreciate those buildings by increasing the income. If you own a single family home and you're renting it out and they're paying you month after month after month, there's not really much you can do. You might be able to increase the rent a little bit, but you're not going to increase the value of that home. Commercial real estate is a completely different ballgame. You invest in commercial real estate, the bank sees that as a business, meaning when the income goes up, the value goes up. The reason I love multifamily real estate, as long as it's above 5 units, it's seen as a commercial building, meaning a business. So when I increase the income or decrease the expenses, it becomes worth more money. I get to dictate the speed limit of appreciation. It's not dictated by the market alone. So when you're looking at appreciating assets, buy assets that you can force appreciate and you can increase the income and see the appreciation go north. That's a powerful trio in real estate, is buying an appreciating asset in which you can force appreciate that also has a commercial leg to it, so the bank sees it as a commercial property, because not only is the loan easier to get, they'll dictate the value based on the income. And the fifth tip around building a real estate mindset is having a mindset of abundance. There is plenty of real estate and capital to go around. There is $29 trillion of retirement money in the United States alone that could be invested in real estate. We are not short on private capital to invest in real estate. What we are short on is people that know what they're doing with that money and can make money for their investors. And that's why this channel exists, because we want to grow that number of people so we can start helping people not go into retirement on fixed incomes and actually build real assets of real wealth. But if you have a scarcity or a poverty mindset and think there's only so much money to go around and there's only so many properties to go around, you're not only going to make poor decisions in real estate, but it's really going to limit your growth. That's a head issue. It's a mindset issue that will continue to hit the ceiling of that mindset, and you'll never be able to grow past it until you start seeing the world as an abundant place to live, and real estate is abundantly a place to grow wealth. I look at other investors as potential partners, not as competition, because often I've met another investor, we might be going out of the same property, and it might make sense for us to team up and say, hey, why don't we do this property together? That's abundance. You want to think about an abundance mindset, not a poverty mindset where either he gets it or she gets it or I get it. That's not how we think. We think, hey, is there a way to work together? If not, we'll both put in an offer. Whoever gets it, and on to the next. That's an abundance way to think. You want to build a real estate mindset, you have to start thinking from an abundant perspective. Which leads me into my sixth tip: partnerships drive real estate. All these bigger deals you see in commercial and even big portfolio deals often have multiple buyers on the deals. So instead of seeing other investors as competition, start building relationships with other investors. All of my big deals, I'm partners with all kinds of people. Some investors, some other general partners, banks, we're partners with all kinds of people. Partnerships are the path to a profitable portfolio. That's what I want you to see. I've built partnerships over the years that I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those partnerships I built. So make sure that you understand every investor you see could be a potential partner on a potential deal. Maybe they have the deal, you have the private capital, or they have the private capital and you have the deal. You both bring value to the transaction and you can do that deal together. So again, partnerships are the path to a profitable portfolio. And the last tip might be the most important, and that is getting a mentor. Building a real estate mindset really comes back to the voices you have in your head. You have to have mentors that can truly help you shift the way you think. If you want a different reality, you have to do things differently. If you want to do things differently, you have to think differently. Well, if thinking leads to actions, leads to your reality, how do we disrupt that process so it's done differently, so we think differently, then do differently, then our reality is different? That comes from strategic mentors that can challenge our way of thinking so it shifts and changes. And that's what I want for you. I want you to find a mentor that can help shift your mindset and tweak it and transition so you can start doing bigger deals with more people, raising more money, and see more real estate deals happen for you, and thus your cash flow increasing. I personally have spent over $250,000 on coaches and courses over the years for one reason. My mind will always be the ceiling of my experience and growth. Meaning, if I want to earn more, I need to learn more. And it's the same thing for you. You should invest in somebody, whoever you know, like, and trust, that can take you to that next level. A coach will change the world for you. Think of every single talented person you know, whether it's sports, art, dance, teachers, no matter who you know. Think of the successful people in the world. They all have coaches to some level. Think about the best players in the world in sports. They have a coach that they could definitely beat in a race. It isn't about that. The coach can help develop skills in players, and it's the same thing with you. You want to go to that next level with your mindset, you need to have a coach that can help you think different, thus do different, thus have a different reality. I also want to give you a free training today. I have a free multifamily masterclass that can help change the way you think about real estate and help you get that next deal done faster. Marianne Williamson said the key to abundance is meeting limited circumstances with unlimited thoughts. If you want to think different, you have to have people putting things in your head that can change the way you think. That's why I put this training together, and I want to give it for you for free today. So click the link below. It's a free multifamily masterclass. We'll walk you through how to get real estate in 10 weeks or less.